It's up at 4 o'clock on the morning of the 3rd of June, so literally just 3 days ago. And something was going through my head. It was so very, very clear, but it was strange. And this has to do with something that I've talked about a few times. It's the medical and the pharmaceutical industry. So, before we get into that, I probably want to explain just a few things and thoughts about the current medical and pharmaceutical industry. So, welcome to the channel. I trust that God is blessing you. And today is the 6th of June 2026. So, before I get into this, I want to make it clear that I'm not attacking anybody in the medical industry or the pharmaceutical industry. And I do believe there are many, many really good doctors, nurses, specialists, paramedics um, in these systems. And I have no doubt God can use them and has used them to bring about a very good outcome for a lot of people. The problem really lies with the very head of the system. Now, the medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry has been infiltrated well and truly by Satan. And this happened a long time ago. And it really has just turned into a huge business where your health and well being are very much secondary. Making the big bucks is the most important thing. And maybe in recent years, we can say it's got a little bit more sinister in the sense that people are no longer with us, and many people who are still with us have some very serious conditions. But like I say, God can work in this system, and there are many, many good people. But as I've said, they have been trained from the highest level. And who is controlling this at the highest level? Obviously, God's in control of all things, but Satan has subverted this system. And now a lot of hospitals, a lot of training facilities are paid for by the pharmaceutical industry. And it is also well known that over the years, that some of the testing that used to be done, which took many years, some testing now is taking a mere few months and maybe even less than that, which again makes things a bit scary, a bit dangerous. So I'm not attacking anybody, and I just wanted to make that clear. So before I start, I'm just going to have a drink of purified water. So anyway, I woke up and I started to think about symptoms. Now, I've got a few symptoms myself, and maybe that's why it was going through my head. But it all starts with symptoms. You've got this going wrong with you, you've got that going wrong with you, this is manifesting, and that's manifesting. And you start to say to yourself, oh, there's obviously something wrong. Maybe pains here and there, maybe rashes, maybe whatever. And so you think to yourself, well, I better go and see a doctor or I'll go to a hospital. Now, remember, a lot of these symptoms, the root of these systems can be traced back to many toxins in our water, in our air, in our food, in the land, in the soil, um, some of the medications that you've been given over the years, the lifestyles that some of us live. But symptoms have to have a root cause. And like I say, a lot of these root causes can be traced back to things that are deliberately being put onto us. So you have these systems, and so you go to the doctor or a hospital where you would see a doctor anyway. And I'm going to make reference here to Galatians 5:20, where Paul talks about sorcery, which is the Greek word pharmakia, which is where we get the English word pharmacy or pharmacist from. And in Revelation 18:23, it talks about the Babylonian system. And one of the things that it does is it has deceived the whole world by its sorceries, by its pharmakia. That's one of the reasons that God judges it, a big reason. So, you come to the doctor, or maybe we could say we come to the sorcerer. And please forgive me if any doctors are listening to this, I'm not attacking you in any way. But this is how it was coming to me on that morning 3 days ago. So you come to the sorcerer and you give him the list of symptoms that you're exhibiting, that you're experiencing. And then the sorcerer plugs all this into his computer, and eventually it comes up with a diagnosis. This is what you've got, or it might even be this. But often in these cases, you receive a bad report. Now, sometimes you do get a good report. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you, you're fine, blah, blah, blah. But often there's a bad report. Oh, you've got this dangerous condition or that very life-threatening condition. And the fear comes in. Fear grips you. This is one of the reasons why I no longer go to doctors or hospitals, because of bad reports, and I just don't want this stuff put on me. Fear. But fear grips people. The sorcerer has now put fear upon you. Maybe inadvertently, not deliberate, but you're under fear. And so you're sitting there, oh, woe unto me. But then the sorcerer, he says, aha, but the computer has also given us a solution. I can provide you with potions, lotions, elixirs, which will treat the condition. I've got potion A, I've got lotion B, and I've got elixir C. So now I'm going to get my little book out. I'm going to write down my spell. You've already cast the mantra by the fear that's gone into this person. So now you write your little spell. Potion A, lotion B, elixir C. Take this spell to my apprentice, the sorcerer's apprentice, and he will dispense the potions, the lotions, the elixirs, which will solve your problem. Okay. So off you go, and you get your potions, lotions, and elixirs from the sorcerer's apprentice, and off you go. And before you know it, more symptoms appear. More symptoms. Different ones from before, in addition to the ones that you've already got. Now you've got more symptoms. Before I wrap up, I just want to read a couple of verses from the scriptures. And it is Mark chapter 5. And it's the woman that had the issue of blood. Listen to what it says here. Now, a certain woman who had a flow of blood for 12 years and had suffered many things from many physicians, from many doctors, from many sorcerers. She had spent all that she had and was no better, but rather she grew worse. This woman had suffered many things over 12 years, many things from many physicians. She spent every penny she had. She was no better. In fact, she's now worse. Hence, going to the Lord. Rinse and repeat. Symptoms. Go to the sorcerer. Sorcerer gives you a diagnosis, puts fear in you, the mantra, the fear. Writes his little spell of potions, lotions, elixirs. Off you go to the sorcerer's apprentice, who dispenses said potions, lotions, elixirs. Off you go back home, having spent more of your money. Before you know it, more symptoms. Back to the sorcerer. You suffer many things from many physicians over many years. You spend everything you've got and you're no better. You're actually worse off. This is what Satan has been doing for a long time with the medical and the pharmaceutical industry. This is one of these topics we could talk about it for hours and hours and hours, but I just wanted to give you this brief sort of summary of what I woke up to. It was really, 4 o'clock in the morning is quite unusual. And it was crystal clear how I saw it all playing out. So either that was from my own mind or was God speaking to me? I'll leave that for you to decide. But regardless, I know that's what's happening and has been happening for a long, long time. The good news is Jesus is the great physician, and there is nothing he cannot heal. So, friends, may the Lord bless you. Keep your head held high. Great things are happening, even though it might not look like it. There's some great times ahead. The light is soon going to be shining brightly. God bless you. Until next time. Bye bye for now.